Looks like Nick's getting trained for the new cop. There you go, Nikki.
I don't think so. I get good health insurance.
Well, they'll have that too. Just wait.
Yeah.
Looks like Nick's getting trained for the new cop.
Oops. We are live on YouTube,
There
FYI.
you go, Nikki.
Okay, we're live on YouTube now, FYI.
Levi, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Okay. We're live on YouTube, by the way.
This is Ron. You can hear me okay?
Yep, we got you on.
Okay, I can hear you.
Is that you, Jim?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Huh?
I said we got you.
Okay, good. Levi, you still there?
Yep, I got you.
Okay.
Someone called in a phone and is getting feedback. Is that you, Jim?
Oh.
No,
That's probably me. Hi, Levi.
Oh, hey.
Hello? Am I here?
Yep, you're here.
All right,
Hear
good.
you loud and clear.
Oh, the feedback was probably Nick. When you unmute, Nick, you'll have to turn down the volume on your phone if you're going to stay connected.
Hey, Levi, do you got the meeting number? Kyle Mowers says his computer won't work. Or his
Yeah,
Zoom number. Do
Let
you
me
have
look it
his
up here.
number? He's in New Mexico, I know. He said he's gonna call in.
Okay, I don't actually have his phone number, but let's try to think here.
Here, I'll text. Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
I'll text it to him if you can give it to me.
yeah. So the phone number is 312-626-6799.
Does he need to know any more than that?
He needs the meeting ID and the passcode. I'm gonna text that to you because we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Not that there's probably people out there, but prefer to avoid any Zoom bombs if we can.
Gotcha.
So I just sent you the meeting ID and then there's a passcode. I'll send you that next. The second one is the passcode. Ah, crap. And I gave you the wrong freaking meeting ID.
All right, I got him, Levi.
Hey, hold on 1 second. I gave you the wrong meeting ID. Is off by 1 digit.
Okay. The passcode's right though.
Passcode is correct. Okay, the second one is actually the meeting ID now. So if he punches in the phone number, punches in that meeting ID, and then the passcode, it'll work.
Thanks.
Ashley, do you mind muting your phone?
What was that?
Your phone, can you, you must be on speakerphone. Can you just hit the mute button? Because I hear a lot of background noise.
Okay. Don't know what you're hearing, but I can do that.
Hey, Sarah.
So if I walk by naked, that'd be awkward. Wouldn't it?
That'd be awkward.
How's it going, Kim?
Hilarious.
Well, everyone, I've got 7 o'clock. Levi, do you got everybody on that you can think of?
Yeah, it looks like everyone's on here. Kyle's the only one who hasn't called in yet, but given he's on vacation, it's expected.
Here.
Oh, there he is. Never mind. He snuck in on me.
All right, guys. We'll call the meeting to order. Same rules as the other Zoom meetings we've done. I'll ask for a roll call vote after each decision. And again, if you need to speak, if you could state your name before you speak, I'd appreciate it. We'll call the meeting to order. Approval of the agenda for tonight.
Jim, so
I'll make the
moved.
motion. Second.
Okay, it was motioned by Jim, seconded by Levi. Roll call. Jim,
Aye.
Bart,
Aye.
Rod,
Aye.
Levi,
Aye.
and Ron.
Aye.
Okay, go ahead and approve last month's meetings minutes. I didn't see any corrections unless any of the council did. You can state those now, otherwise we'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Jim, second.
Okay, motion by Levi, second by Jim. Roll call. Jim,
Aye.
Bart,
Aye.
Rod,
Aye.
Levi,
Aye.
and Ron.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to visitors. Main Street Director, Kim, how you doing? I believe I saw her on here.
Yeah, she's on. I muted her because they were talking in the background and I didn't want it to go over the web.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. No, we could hear you before, Kim. You need to unmute again.
How about now?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, in August and so far in September, through Main Street, we have created a derecho relief fund for residents of Clarence along with St. John's UCC Church. I have applied for 2 grants, both from Tyson's and Alliant Energy. I'm not sure when I'll hear back on those, and also appealed to the public for some funding. We're just hoping to maybe, we're not, looking to raise like tens of thousands of dollars, but hoping to help some people out with some little expenses here and there that maybe they just can't afford right now. One question that I did have was, do you ever purchase any dumpsters, or is that still in the works? Just wondering if we would be able to help people out with some dumpster rentals, that sort of thing. I did attend 2 training webinars with Main Street, Iowa this last month. One called Being Strategic in 2020, that is for both businesses and nonprofits, and then an MSI Design Services update for 2020. Continued bi-weekly Zoom meetings with other MSI executive directors to collaborate and exchange information. The design committee is right now planning a fall downtown cleanup that will either happen at the end of this month or the very beginning of October. Date hasn't been settled on yet. And we are in the midst of planning for a 1-evening Fall in Love with Clarence event, which will be on Thursday, October 15th from 4 to 7 p.m., which lands on the 3rd Thursday of October, when the businesses are used to being open in the activities that we are planning so far would be an antique classic car show, a Little Miss and Mr. Virtual contest event, where people will be able to submit entries of their children online, and there will be a voting process set up for that. There will be a pumpkin decorating contest, a social media and physical scavenger hunts, and then a hot dog dinner drive-through, which will occur down next to Hound Dog Rock Shop. We'll offer a bag dinner, brown bag dinner that'll be a hot dog, soda, a bag of chips, and a brownie for $5. So that'll be a good deal. And then we are planning to have some vendors on the sidewalk like we did back in July that was so successful. And then there will be a bake sale. Main Street Iowa has hired an additional design consultant. They have caught up on their backlog of projects. And I did hear from them, about possibility of helping out with some ideas for refacing the municipal building or getting some advice on how to make repairs rather than refacing, if that's what you want to do. So I just need the go ahead to make a formal request for that if you're still interested. And then I will be on vacation from Saturday, September 26th through Monday, October 5th. So I'll be totally off the grid at that time and not available. And then one thing that we've kind of been kicking around for quite a while, and I had brought it up once a while back, we keep kind of talking about it and then it keeps getting put on the back burner, but we would like to have some kind of an information board or kiosk set up at some point, like a changeable letter board where we can make announcements and things like that. And we're kind of talking about wondering if the city would allow us to put it in front of the municipal building where that little flower bed is. So it's just something I'd like you guys to kick around and let me know if you think that would be a possibility. And outside of that, I didn't work for a full week this month because I had damage at my own property as well from the derecho. So I just had to take a little bit of time off to take care of some stuff. And that's what I have.
All right, Kim, thank you.
Thank you.
Council, do you have any input on the design for Main Street for the municipal building like we've talked, I believe, the last couple months? I know we've talked for a number of years about needing to do some repair work to it, trying to decide what's the most cost effective and also keep it looking like a downtown, like we'd want the downtown building to look. Does the council want Kim to go ahead and see if they would be willing to put something together for us? Kim, is that free or how do they do that?
It is, it's free, absolutely. Basically we have to submit a formal request and they do have to know that the council would be, that if they put the trouble into it, that it would be something that would probably happen, rather than just willy-nilly saying, okay, give us some pictures or something. Because they do like, they have me submit a lot of information for that. And then they will put together some professional renderings. Now they're not plans that you could then take to an architect and say, okay, do this, but they will be professional looking renderings that would give a basis.
Okay.
I think it's
For
good
that, if that makes
to get a design. I think though the biggest issue we've had over the years is trying to decide what is the best way to repair it. Like what's the technology we need to use, whether it's EFIS, whether it's, just nailing board aside. And I don't think they'll be able to do that. They'll tell us, hey, here's a way to make it look decent, but they won't tell us, hey, here's technology to use to repair the building.
They will give information on the different types of materials that can be used. Maybe it wouldn't be any other information that you could get on your own. I don't know, but they will give, they will give they do have resources for information about things, definitely. And they can also help out with what would be period appropriate for the building because they are geared towards historical preservation, and technically that building would be considered a mid-century style building, they probably would advise toward trying to maintain that type of appearance. So,
Yeah,
I
what we
don't think
don't
it would
know
hurt
is,
to ask them to do something, but whether or not,
well, we know we need to do something to the building.
Yeah.
That's a given. I think we're a Main Street community. We just as well use their design service to see what they come back as. I'm not sure if that brick that's on there is can sustain repair or not.
yeah,
It's been pretty bad shape, to be honest, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
think we should apply and move forward with it and see what they come back with. And it's almost a given that the city in the near future is going to have to do something with the exterior. So
yeah,
ideas don't hurt. I think we've tossed around a few over the years. A couple have been awful expensive, and others maybe would make it look more like a shed you'd see on a farm. So I guess we need to come up with a plan. So, and that's a start.
okay. Happy to do it.
Okay, is that kiosk, is that something that you need an answer or the council can discuss in the future or have on the agenda to discuss?
Probably. I'm wondering what the feeling is about putting something in that spot. Would anybody say, oh, hell no? Or, is that something that would be a possibility? I've kind of looked at it from all angles. I feel like it's a great spot to put something. And I have already gotten a bid from a sign company on a sign that would fit there, but we want to look at other options too. But before we, get any more ideas on where to put something that size, I'd like to know if there's any objections to putting something there. We would like it to be electrified. So if that
Well,
needs to go on an agenda item for next month, that's fine.
yeah, maybe we could have you meet with the building liaisons down there and take a look at what you're thinking and
Okay.
Go from there. And it could be put on the agenda for the following month to discuss and decide.
And who would be the building liaison?
Rod, are you one of them? I believe Rod and Ron, if I'm mistaken. Deb, do you have that paper in front of you?
Okay. Bart and Jim.
Oh,
Well, I'm way off. Well, whatever two council members want to meet with you when it suits your guys' schedule would be fine.
okay. And then beyond that, of course, I have to figure out how to pay for it too. So, it's not something that's going to happen like really fast.
Okay. Anything else, Kim?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thanks a lot. Any questions from the council for Kim? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. We've got Sarah Fossbinder to discuss the ongoing sanitary sewer issues that we continue to have. Sarah, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you. I talked to Sarah a few weeks back. It's probably been a month and a half ago. Clarence, on a 2 different evening occasion, received like 6 or 7 inches of rain. And we had some numerous backups again in town in people's basements. And then we went for over a month after the derecho with a dry spell. And now this week, in a 5-day period, I believe we had between 7 and 7.5 inches of rain. Luckily, it didn't all come at once, but it was enough that the water table's back up again. And I believe we've got sump pumps running at full capacity, field tile running at full capacity again, and we had to run the bypass pumps again this weekend. I know Steve was in Saturday for a while. So we do know that there's still a problem. We do know that we're not the only ones that have this problem, but after a couple months ago, and the numerous phone calls that were coming in with people wanting answers as to why they're still getting backups in their basement, and I guess me being dead in the water with an answer, with the exception of I wish we could hook up our overflows the way our system was designed, like we've talked numerous times. But that doesn't seem to be an option anymore after the correspondence we got from Terry Jones in the DNR Washington office a while back, after Steve drafted a letter and wrote it to and sent it to him, asking some ideas and some plans moving forward. So I guess that's why I called Sarah, our city engineer, to see what she had to say about it. So Sarah, I don't know if you thought about it anymore or what, but I'll let you talk.
Sure. So I just want to start with some background. The city has done an extensive sanitary sewer rehabilitation project. 2 phases of rehab consisted of really lining all of the older pipe in town and lining all of the manholes that were showing signs of having infiltration. So we all know that the city has done absolutely everything that they can do on the public side of the sanitary sewer system. But since the city is experiencing these large spikes in flow during precipitation events, that indicates that there are still some major clear water contributors that are coming from the private side of your sanitary sewer system. So in terms of options, I mean, the city can choose to do a couple of things, and I think MSA can help you whichever direction you choose to go. But you can either look at continuing to try to crack down on those clear water sources on the private side of things. Some ideas there is, I mean, I really think it starts with education, because people don't realize, you know, if they have a sump pump that's connected to the sanitary sewer system, you know, they know that their sump pump is running, it's carrying water away, it's keeping their basement dry. They don't realize that those clear water contributions to the system is causing their neighbors to back up down the line. So maybe it just starts with some publication on the city's website or Facebook page about, you know, make sure your sump pumps are connected and things of that nature. You could also go around and try to do sump pump inspections. I have suspicions that there are some field tiles that may be tied in to the sanitary sewer system. So maybe it starts with some conversations with those farmers that have fields adjacent to the city limits. You know, ask them if they have maps, if they know where those field tiles are discharging. And then the other thing is you could have people start to televise and inspect their private sanitary sewer laterals. So all of those investigations on the private side of things, those are just, sorry, there's a spider. Sorry. So what I'm trying to say is all those investigations on the private side of things just take a lot of manpower, you know? So it all kind of depends on what the city wants to take on. And MSA, we've helped communities do sump pump inspections if you are looking for somebody to help out with things like that. And then the other option is to just go ahead and pursue another improvement to the public sanitary sewer system. You know, with the goal of carrying water away more quickly to alleviate backups, and, eliminate the need for your public works staff to be out there pumping, bypassing water on the weekends. Maybe that looks like a wet weather lift station. So, you could possibly reinstate those overflows like you had before, and the overflows go to a lift station, and that excess water gets pumped then to the lagoon. The thing I want to point out with that, though, is that your lagoon facility is already approaching capacity. So when you have these large events, if you're no longer bypassing that clear flow and those precipitation events to the ditch, you're sending it to the lagoon, and that could trigger the need for an upgrade to your treatment facility a little bit sooner, if you don't get rid of the clear water that's there. So whichever option you feel is best, I'm here to help with whatever direction you give me. I think the city is still in a good position to get CDBG funding. The latest.
We lost your audio, Sarah. I'm not sure what happened.
Can you hear me now? No?
I
I
can,
can,
hear.
I can hear you, Sarah.
Okay. All right. My kids were running around upstairs. Probably sounded like a herd of elephants, but so for funding, I'm still optimistic that you could get CDBG funding, even though the latest community income survey had you at 44% low to median income. And you need to be 51% to get the CDBG. So you just need to do a community-wide income survey. But I feel confident that you could still get the 51%, and that those CDBG grant funds are a 50% match if you did choose to pursue a project like a lift station.
Just to kind of talk a little bit about what Sarah said, I believe she's correct on the sump pumps, field tiles on the private side, and I've said that forever. The sump pumps we did initially, the city guys a number of years ago, and that was back when Paul was our public works director. I do believe numerous ones disconnected, but to my knowledge, I'm not sure that we quite got everybody to disconnect. And I also believe that some of the people centralized in the middle of town that just, I think their sump pumps have been run into the sanitary for so long and they don't have anywhere else to pump it except for above ground or over to a neighbor or something like that, which technically can't happen. I think so many of them just hooked them back up into their sanitary because they didn't have any other option. And I think that's still become an issue. Like our public works director, Steve, said now it's not that hard to drive around town where you see somebody that has a hose coming out of their house and figure out where it's going, or the people that don't have one coming out of the house, but have water issues and have to have a sump pump. And most of the town of Clarence, as we know, has water issues, except for maybe some of the center part, the high part of town. But every direction but the center part, the drainage is less than satisfactory in Clarence. It's just a wet area. The field tiles, I think Clarence has, since most of the town was probably farmed before there was houses here, there's obviously field tile that are probably running through a lot of people's yards throughout town that most don't even know where they're at. Some of the field tile probably aren't in very good shape anymore, being they're old clay tile, and that's creating an issue too. And then as far as televising laterals, that's something I talked to Triple J about, Dan, about a month ago. He did just buy a new camera. I think it just came last week to televise sewers, and it's a lot better than the one he used to have. obviously there would be a cost that is incurred to each person that has that done. And obviously not everybody's just going to jump at spending money, not knowing if they're the ones that have the problem or what. So like Sarah said, the education is probably the most important thing, but it's also difficult to do, and you're going to have to tell people that they got to spend money. So I don't know, Sarah, if there's any kind of grants available for the private, for residents to get that, to pay to have their laterals televised. I don't think, Dan, I don't believe it was that costly, but it's still probably a couple $100 to do for them to show up and televise it.
No grant money that I know of on the private side of things, but I can definitely ask our funding experts if they've ever heard of something like that.
So I think starting out, the council should, I believe Steve and Will are willing to take a look around town and maybe address some of these possible sump pumps and maybe roof drain or downspout issues yet that may be going on, that we thought most of it was corrected a number of years ago. That is a start, although that's not always a fun situation to have to deal with either. The only way I think we're ever going to find out if we have field tiles hooked into private laterals is to have the homeowners in the areas of town that are having the problems have their laterals televised. Like Sarah stated, the cities, what I'm trying to get people to understand is the 1 point whatever million we spent on the two phases of the sanitary sewer rehab project. A lot of that had to do with lining most of the mains in town that were older, which the only thing that should be hooked up into the mains now are the private laterals to people's houses. And then also, of course, the manhole work and the point repairs. So the city is sitting pretty decent as far as their side of things. I believe it's going to be up to the homeowners, specifically in the troubled areas of town, to try to figure out what they have going on with their private laterals. But again, it's not going to be fun to try to tell people they got to spend money to do so. So the city's going to either have to come up with a plan of helping them out if that's what they so choose, or the fun task of telling them that that's what's going to have to be done. Has the council got any thoughts?
What, out of curiosity's sake, what's the consequence? So is DNR gonna come down on us again? I mean, we've spent a ton of money, but I agree, it's probably laterals, just letting in clear water, and that's gonna mean a house by house inspection. Are we at a position where we have to do that? Is the DNR?
Well, the bottom line is, Levi, the way the DNR works is we're probably got them off our back for a while because of the rehab project that we just completed a year ago, but we're on a pecking order. They'll be back around sooner or later if we continue to keep having problems and we're not meeting our permit out at the sewer lagoons for discharging. They're going to keep watching. That's just a given. Unfortunately, some of the answers they give, the way our system was designed, that we can't have the bypasses hooked up, that's created us the problem that we have. This problem didn't just start yesterday or last month. It's been going on in this town since the sewer was put in, brand new. That's why they put the bypasses in. But having our city guys up at all hours of the nights, weekends, holidays, whenever, is ridiculous in itself. And furthermore, it's usually in the middle of the night when they're sound asleep and it's already rained 3 inches and it's already too late to bypass pump anyway because people's basements are already filling up. So that's where we got to come up with a solution here. I don't think it's going to be an easy one. So,
Jarek,
yes.
What's Rod, when they designed that system, was it 84? They did that, Anderson Bogart?
No, I'm talking, Rod, the original sanitary sewer that was put in back in the 40s or 50s, whenever it was.
Yeah, but when they redone that, Jerry, there wasn't near as many people in town as there is now, and I don't think our trunk line's big enough to get rid of our wastewater.
Well, that has been discussed too, Rod. That 15-inch interceptor line that was done in the mid 90s when they redid our put in our sewer lagoons. They took away, it's basically gravity flow out there. We used to have a lift station with a sewer plant, so to speak, and now we have the gravity flow 15-inch interceptor to the lagoons, which, and since then, that's when the bypasses got unhooked too. And it seems like since then we've had more and more issues. Of course, we've gotten a lot more rain in the last probably 6, 8, 10 years than what we did for a long time too. So
Yeah, and then like I said, when we lined those pipe too, you lost space there.
yeah, I don't know if the lining.
Half an inch.
Actually increases the capacity of your line, if you believe it, because of the smoothness coefficient. So water actually moves through there faster, and there's more capacity with the lining.
But it can't get away because they don't have a big enough trunk line, Sarah.
The 15-inch is not big enough. Yeah.
Not even close.
Cost effectiveness, is it from a public side? And like I say, I think some of these problems on the private side need to be addressed first, in my opinion. But then if that's the case and we need to move forward further on the public side, is it more cost effective to look at putting another interceptor line in to take it away, or is it more cost effective to put in a lift station? I guess
that
would be a question. Either way, I think the DNR, Sarah, in your opinion, would they question the permitting of that since we're about at capacity now?
I mean, I don't think so. As long as we explain that we're trying to alleviate backups in the system. Their biggest concern right now, and with their administrative consent order, is they're looking to make sure that you can hold 180 days of wastewater at your lagoon. And if you start to get where you're not able to hold that and meet that detention time, that's when they're gonna crack down and tell you that you need a larger facility or a different facility, an upgrade of some sort.
Well, their biggest concern is not having our guys out bypass pumping in the middle of the night. They told us to just go ahead and do that and document it, but yet we can't hook our overflows back up and meter it that way, so we wouldn't have to have anybody out there in the middle of the night. So it's kind of a double-edged sword of what they're telling us, in my opinion. I don't know if it's at a point we need to get Terry Jones involved in this situation too, or maybe pass this on to the state lawmakers that this is getting ridiculous or what. But they say it's okay to bypass pump but document it, but we can't have our overflows hooked up in the form of metering it. So that to me is asinine.
It sounds like that we probably got to deal with private residences because we have to try to figure out where all the clear water is coming from. So we probably should have Steve, and I mean, if Steve and Will are willing to go off and start trying to investigate, I guess we should start there, because adding in larger pipes is just going to carry it there quicker, and we're going to get past our 180 days, not past, before 180 days, which will be a problem.
Yeah, that would be the start on the private side. But again, it's, going to have to be something that Steve and Will put in with the rest of their daily duties here to get done.
Yeah, or we
Then to get
have Sarah help
people-
us out.
Right.
I mean, it's a clear water problem. So, I mean, no matter what we do, if we don't deal with that, we're probably just going to end up having to expand the lagoons out there, won't we?
Probably sooner or later, especially if, you know, we continue to have the kind of rains we do and the backups we, or, you know, the amount we have coming, going out to it. Steve, what was it this last week? Do you got any idea in the last 5 to 7 days how much the water tower pumped in comparison to what went out to the lagoons?
The water tower in the last 3 days has been like 58,000 gallons. And lagoon on Saturday morning was like 4,100. So it's no comparison. I mean, what we're pumping through the water tower, there's way more going to the sewer plant. So
Okay.
it's not a, it's a private thing, is my opinion. I mean, it's got to be sump pumps, private laterals, field tiles, like you all said. It's what we're pumping through the water tower isn't near what's going to the sewer plants.
Steve, do you think it's sustainable to start looking at some of these sump pump issues that may still be going on for you guys alone, or is that something that you think we need to look at somebody else on?
I mean, we can attack it, but you know, today we picked up sticks till noon, and you got garbage, you got recycling every other week. I'm not saying we can't do it. It's just going to take us a lot of time to do it. I mean, it's not going to be a fast thing if we do it, probably. The other thing you got to look at is, do we have an ordinance that says we can go into people's houses and look at it? I know at one point,
That's the other problem too. The way we got by with it the last time is when Paul installed all the radio red meters in everybody's basement, he kind of doubled his task up and took a look at that time. So,
great.
but that's been 10 years ago already, at least, or 12.
Yeah. Well, I know at one point you sent me a thing that I think Cedar Falls or one of them towns that way. It was an ordinance that stated that you go into the private property and look at their services or sump pumps or.
Sarah, do you see other towns helping the citizens out as far as maybe putting together something to have all these things you said on the private side taken care of or addressed, as far as televising the private laterals and then advising them what they need to do to have them fixed? Or how does that usually work?
I haven't worked closely with a community that's tried to do this. There's been a lot of them that have been in your position, certainly trying to figure out what the best way to do it is. It's something that I can look into and get back to you. I know that some communities have done like a cost share program with the city to help make things more affordable. I know other communities have talked about, you know, adding the inspection of the sanitary sewer lateral to like a property transfer. So they would have to get it inspected and make sure it's in good shape before, you know, the house can be sold. It's tricky. It's really tricky. because you can pass all the ordinances you want, but when it comes down to it, somebody's gotta be the boots on the ground and actually going door to door and enforcing it. So. It's definitely something I can look into, see if I can find some examples of things other communities have done, if that's helpful.
I guess my question is, does the city have the ability to go in and inspect people's houses? I mean, can we go knock on their door legally and go into their house and inspect their sump pump or sanitary or?
I don't know what your ordinance reads, but I mean, for instance, we've done sump pump inspections in other communities like Wheatland, for example, where we pair up with somebody from the community, just knock on everyone's door, you know, and go down to the basement. And even then, you're not gonna get in everybody's house. You're just not.
Well, the ones that are doing it illegally certainly know it, and they're not going to just invite you in to listen to you tell them that they can't do it that way. That's for certain. So.
Or they unhook it before you get there and then hook it back up when you leave.
Well, and I think that might have happened before on numerous occasions, to be real honest with you. And it came down to the people that did that just didn't have somewhere else to pump it, you know, and you can't pump it in the backyard and then expect to mow your yard once a week when it stays wet all summer long or whatever like that. So unfortunately, this town lacks the ability to have storm sewers on every corner too, or 2 or 3 spots in a block. A lot of times you see those when you have curb and gutter streets. Most of ours just run off. As we've discussed in the past too. So Sarah, at this point, do you think it'd be, if you put something together of kind of a proactive plan for the city here in the future, that the council can have something to go off of instead of trying to just shoot from the hip and hoping that we don't get a 6-inch rain in 2 hours again? Because I guess I'm to the point where I think the citizens want answers, and if they need to be educated on that their laterals are some of the problem, then that's, I guess, what we're going to have to go after.
Sure. Or do you maybe want to try to do both at the same time? You know, tackle the private side, try to keep chugging away at trying to eliminate those clear water sources, but also maybe look into how much it might cost to put in a lift station. You know, if for any sort of project, the first step is always to write a preliminary engineering report for funding. So that's something that we could put together, and at least you would have an idea of what size of project you'd be looking at.
Steve, what's your opinion on that?
Probably not a bad plan, but I'm pretty sure that if you pump more water at them lagoons, you're probably going to be putting another lagoon in. I mean, it's kind of a steamroller thing. Yeah, you're going to keep everybody's basement dry, but in the end, you're either going to be discharging when you shouldn't be, which is going to make the DNR put you another lagoon in, which they talked about already. So I don't know. I agree. We probably should try to go after the homeowners and try to, like Sarah said, educate them. I mean, maybe we could send a letter out to a block at a time, and if people are willing to let us in, go in their houses a block at a time. I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is. Pretty sure the water's just not getting away fast enough. But if we pump it all towards the lagoons, it's not going to handle it.
Well, I agree the water's not getting away fast enough, but I also agree that when we get those kind of rains, there's an overabundance coming into it. And for what we did on the city side, I think we would have fixed most of that situation, at least 75 or 80% of it, maybe. So yeah, that would be a start, I think.
I mean, you hate to spend money and not use it, but
Okay, well, why don't I put something together for your next meeting? A scope of services type of thing for MSA's assistance and writing a report and cost estimating. Steve, I can get with you later this week too, and just talk to you about what your feeling is on, what the city might want help with versus things that you think you can tackle yourself. And then just come back to you at your October meeting.
Okay, Sarah, that sounds great. Council, do you have any questions for Sarah or any other input?
Well, we got to start somewhere, and I think that's probably a pretty good start.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks, Sarah. All right, we'll move on. Is there any other visitors on here tonight that are? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to utility billing hearings. Deb, there is a couple on here, I see.
Yeah, there are. The first one is for Gloria Graham. Her toilet was running on. This is actually for her August bill. And the amount that will be adjusted off would be $134. So her total adjusted bill would be $138.88. Hers would be pending. I haven't received, she hasn't signed her application yet, and she hasn't provided me with proof of repairs. So hers, we may need to vote separately because it's pending, those things being done. Gloria Graham.
Okay, I guess if the council's willing to approve that pending Deb making sure that everything is meeting our policy standards, we could go ahead and vote to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Jim, I second it.
Okay, there's a motion by Levi, seconded by Jim, to have Deb go ahead and make sure she fulfills all of our policy on that. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Bart.
Aye.
Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
Okay, Deb, it looks like there's a couple more.
The other two are very odd. It's Kenny and Auto Sales and Elaine and Corey Schieber. Both have large water usages when the electricity was out because of the derecho. Will went to Corey and Elaine Schieber's house, and Elaine told him that while the electricity was out, they could hear their water softener running the whole time that the electricity was out. So, and when the electricity came back on, it stopped. And that is what their profiles on both of the meters at Kenyan's and Schieber's showed, was that water was running the entire time the electricity was out and stopped running when the electricity came back on. We don't know the particulars about why that happened, but that appears to be what happened in both of these large usage events with Kenyan's and Schieber's. So we don't actually have proof of repairs because apparently there was no repair needed. The electricity just needed to come back on and stop their water softener from running.
All right, was it a pretty large water usage, Deb, that their bill was noticeably higher, obviously?
Yes, they were both very high bills. Kenyan's was $506.52. So we'd be adjusting off $297.72. Total adjusted bill of $208.80. And Sheber's was $372.63. We'd be adjusting off $207.01 for a total adjusted bill of $165.65.
Well, that would fall within our qualifications because you only get the one adjustment every 5 years, correct? Which would count to these two properties for this. And I guess that's what they're asking. It's the odd situation of they don't have anything proving a repair. I'm not sure that it's needed, but they would have to know that this is their one adjustment, correct, Deb?
Yes.
Okay. All right, is the council willing to approve those two adjustments as stated?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Jim, second.
Okay, motion by Levi, seconded by Jim. Roll call, Ron,
Yes.
Levi,
Aye.
Rod,
Aye.
Bart,
Aye.
and Jim.
Aye.
And Deb, probably because I'm gonna get, or you're gonna get questioned about it again. Molly Vitens called the other day. I don't believe she filled any of this out, and it's a unique situation. Deb and I talked about it. Deb, can you kind of explain the watering of the sod over a 4-month period, I believe it was?
Yeah, she watered her new grass, I guess. Was it sod? I don't know. For months and had high usage for months in a row. I think it was 4 months. And then she asked about an adjustment. And as I told you and her, that's not what our policy is. So that would be going outside of our policy to do anything about that.
Yeah,
It was probably clear. It was probably clear to her in the first bill that she was way higher than usual. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. She never really stated. I guess I just had a short conversation with her end of last week. I remember this came up a few years ago with somebody that watered their lawn that asked for forgiveness of the sewer part of it. And then we had to go back and find the average of their sewer usage and then still charged the water usage in full, I believe is how it was handled. Deb, was that correct, I think?
No, we adjusted it the same way we always do.
Yeah.
Was that for 1 month though?
Yes, only one.
Okay.
Which the uniqueness here is we have a 4-month situation. I don't know what the forgiveness of if she's just asking for a month, I don't know. So, but then we go back, Deb, right, the last 4 months to find the average bill, correct? And
Yes.
all of those were high.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it doesn't sound like this falls in with our policy standards, so I'll try to explain that to her. So, is that it for those utility billing hearings, Deb? All right. Nuisance abatement hearings, if any? Don't believe. Old business, other nuisance abatement follow-up. Kyle or Brian, do we have any Anything of that needs discussed?
I might have muted Kyle and I can't unmute him since he's on there's someone on a phone. So if he can hear us, he may need to call back in.
Brian, do you have anything for the nuisance abatement hearings or follow-up? I mean, sorry. I take it nothing. Discussion with ambulance coordinator Kelly and Tara. How are you guys?
Good. Okay, so we are going to present what we're proposing for a service director. We had 12 applicants and we have selected Brittany Rogers. She's from Stanwood, a paramedic there. So she's familiar with her service. She has tons of great background and everything like that. We're proposing to start her on our high end of our pay range due to her experience of 50,000. And I guess that's about it. She can start immediately. So we were gonna do if accepted, we're talking a start date of this Wednesday. I don't know if anybody else, the hiring committee met. I don't know if anybody else on Jim or Levi have anything to add.
Yeah, Jim and I met with them last week, and the candidate was very qualified. I was impressed with how prepared she came and how well she answered all the questions. So I'm certainly in line with the hire, and I think it's probably appropriate to pay her based on that.
I agree.
So I'm not sure how this works. If one of them, yeah, I don't know, motion or what you guys do.
Well, go ahead and make a motion, Levi, if you want.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the ambulance.
I second it.
There's a motion by Levi and seconded by Jim for the approval of the full-time EMT/service director for the ambulance. I guess under the understanding, Levi and Jim, Tara and Kelly, you guys discussed everything, and that was part of the, what you guys were gonna fulfill with making sure the goal setting and what you have planned for her moving forward, I guess, is fulfilled.
Right.
Yeah, I'll back that up. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No, we all discussed that, so I think everybody understood that.
Okay.
And maybe just adding in is that she came prepared with a 1 and 5 year plan to meet those objectives and meet the the hiring objectives and the goals of bringing folks on board. So I felt very comfortable that's a clear objective of what she intends to do.
Okay, so the motion, there's a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Jim?
Aye.
Bart?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
Levi?
Aye.
And Ron?
Aye.
Okay, I believe since we're still on this topic, there is on the agenda under new business resolution for pay to add new ambulance employee. Deb, is that resolution ready? I guess we needed to know what the pay was going to be first, correct?
Yeah, it's ready with just blank there. Yes.
I still don't know if we know fully what you'd have to figure out the IPERS and the FICA part. Is that correct?
No, the resolution, I would just put in the annual rate of pay in the
Oh,
resolution. And then it also states in the resolution that it says the following person and position's name shall be paid the salaries or wages indicated, and the clerk is authorized to issue warrants and checks less legally required or authorized deductions from the amount set out below on the 15th and 30th or last day of each month, and make such contributions to IPERS and Social Security or other purpose as required by law or authorized by the council, all subject to audit and review by the council. So that's all just included with that. So we would
okay.
set her wage as $50,000. And then the other stuff would all have to be figured into the budget, but it doesn't figure into the resolution for pay.
Okay. Is there anything in there that needs to be stated that it's split basically 50-50 between the ambulance and the city, or not?
That is a good idea. I will include that in the resolution. I'll just modify this resolution a little bit tomorrow.
But we can go ahead and approve that resolution tonight.
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve that resolution as stated?
So
Jim,
moved.
Okay, I heard Jim motion and Levi second. Roll call, Jim,
aye.
Bart,
Aye.
Rod,
I muted Rod, so he's probably getting back there.
Aye.
Levi,
Aye.
and Ron.
Aye.
Okay. Tara and Kelly, is any other information from the ambulance?
No, we'll plan on meeting with her and getting her up to speed on everything and turning it over.
Offering her the position.
Yeah, we'll offer her the position tonight probably, and then have her start on Wednesday, hopefully.
How is the damage out there sitting as far as the building and the ambulance? Is there repair work and needing to be done?
Yep, the ambulance went to Foster's in Sterling, Illinois, and we had a loaner for about a week. We picked it up this last weekend and brought it back, so it's all good. The garage doors, front and back, got replaced this last week, so they're good. But now Wednesday night when we were leaving our meeting, we found that the other front garage door facing the north has a crack in it and it's full of water. So we contacted the insurance, and with the same claim on the building here, we're getting an estimate and getting that door fixed. So the trees, yeah, we have some trees down that need taken away. And the what? The gutter. And there's a gutter that's sagging. Yeah, that needs. Now, does the city come and pick up those trees? No. Darn it.
I always did it, but they might.
Take away the
if you ask
trees?
nicely.
Is that, I'm asking
They have,
nicely.
they have a fancy new skid loader.
Does the city pick, well, I know people put them at the curb, so I just thought I'd ask.
We can come out and get them.
Yeah, we could, Steve, when they get time, could probably get that.
Yeah.
We'd appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
Okay, anything else from the council for Kelly or Tara tonight? All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for Levi and Jim and you guys getting that together and finding a good applicant. So,
Thank you.
all right, moving on. Discussion with librarian Ashley.
Hey there, how's it going? Don't know if there's a whole lot I had to say. Sent in the yearly state funding report, and now I've got the regular yearly report to turn in by Halloween. So, the damage is fairly mild at the library. We got cracked siding. We have a 2x4 from who knows where sticking out of the roof at one spot, but also lost a little bit, tiny bit of roofing, I guess. So.
We hope to hear soon from the adjuster and getting a report. Deb, I don't believe have you gotten a report yet from all the city-owned buildings and land?
No, not yet.
All right. Maybe we could ask Bob if he knows where that's standing, or he could find out for us.
Good idea.
Anything else,
Just let me
Ashley?
know. Nothing I can think of. Getting started on the yearly weeding. That's going to be fun when all of my numbers have been skewed from the coronavirus. So I can't think of anything else unless you guys have any questions.
Any questions for Ashley? Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Discussion with fire chief. At our last meeting last week, we discussed should be starting the new building process soon. We were hoping about a month ago to get going on that. They were going to dig the footings, and Oberbreckling out of Mechanicsville is pouring the concrete for the footings and the walls. But that got backed up due to the storm, and now they've been busy helping the rural areas and other towns here getting cleaned up and fixed up from the storm. But it sounded as of last week that any day now, they were supposed to come in towards the end of last week and get started, but obviously we had a week of rain, so that's probably got them backed up. So that's exciting news. We should start see the lot down on 7th and Lombard changing shape here really soon, and moving forward with the new building. Deb, under new business, there is approval of a DOT right-of-way application in Triple J Enterprises for new fire station.
Yes. It says it's approval of the installation of 60 foot of 4-inch steel casing for a 2-inch PVC water line. This project is in the city limits of Clarence, Iowa, and Highway 30.
Yeah, so what that is, guys, is the water main is on the south side of Highway 30. We're going to have to bore underneath of the highway, 2-inch line to the new station. So, and Triple J will be doing that work. So I guess that's just an approval for them, for me to sign. I think, is everything a go on it, Deb?
Yes, and it's just approval for you to sign the application.
Okay, so I'll need approval by the council to do so.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Sorry, guys, I'm outside. You're probably hearing a train.
Yeah.
I believe it was Bart. Did you second that?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, motion by Levi, seconded by Bart. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Bart.
Aye.
Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
All righty. Discussion with police chief, Brian, unless there was any other questions on the fire for the council. All right, we'll move on, Brian.
You guys hear me?
We can
You guys
now.
hear me now?
Yep.
Well, I was going to say, on when you were talking about nuisance abatements earlier, the one up there by Ben Chapman's house,
they were initially assessed a fine, and then evidently they reported to the courthouse that they weren't properly served. So the judge on the one had set aside the fine, and there's gonna probably be a hearing on that one for that nuisance abatement issue. And then so we'll see how that goes. I think that's this week for that court hearing. Also, there was an incident at the park a month or two ago where someone backed into a couple of the stones at the statue, and they didn't have insurance. And I think the damage, Esbeck came down for me and looked at that, and the damage was $1,950. So I had Deb send the crash report to the Niermeyer. So I just don't know what the status is on that getting repaired, but I don't know if anybody was aware on that incident. So, well, it needs repaired, and it needs repaired correctly. Esbeck did the work last time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we can go about getting the money from somebody though. Deb, do you have any idea? Somebody without insurance, or is that going to be on?
I would imagine the city's insurance would have to go after this individual.
Right.
So I know he was talking before. He was talking like he wanted to go out and fix the damage himself, but after talking with the mayor and some council people, I got the impression that they would want Esbeck to make the repair. So, had a camera.
That's the stance we should take on it. It needs fixed right, and we know Esbeck had it fixed right before it was damaged this last time. So,
is he capable of doing it? What's that? It's Rod. Is he capable of fixing it himself, right or not?
I have no idea. I don't know. He does concrete work, but I don't know if he's a mason. It's $1,950 damage. So was what Esbeck said it cost him to repair.
One thought is we may be able to go after that through the offset program. That's where you would get any future state income tax refunds or lottery winnings or casino winnings through the state.
Well, we could talk to Niermeyer about it. I don't think he's probably going to get anything out of him if he didn't have insurance on it. That tells me something about the individual right off the bat. If they don't have insurance, that I don't want them doing work to something on city property to try to fix what they messed up. So maybe that's the stance we'll have to take.
Well, they drove off too after the crash, and I didn't was able to get a hold of them the following day. So, but luckily we had a witness at the park who called me right away.
Okay.
So other than that, there was a security camera broke at the park, and I charged a female adult in town with damaging that. And Kyle advised she pled guilty to that. And so just been real busy. I got called out at 3 a.m. on Friday night for an unresponsive male, and ran over there and started CPR on a individual. I have a carry an AED, and so that was on that call for a couple hours. And then Saturday night got called out at 3 for a domestic that started outside of Clarence and ended up in front of Casey's, where the guy stole her car. So I ended up working till like 8 a.m. on that. Took her to a hotel in DeWitt. So it's just been real busy. A lot of late night calls, and so another thing. I know the last council meeting got brought up, but I was offered a job, and I think this might be the last council meeting I'm going to be at. They called the other day and want me to start as soon as possible. So a couple issues that need resolved is I have 844 comp hours. I'm not sure how that can be handled. And I haven't used any vacation. I don't know if when Paul resigned, if he was allowed to transfer his sick time into vacation. So I don't know. Those things need to be resolved. And then does anybody have any ideas how to handle that?
I got a question.
Yeah.
July 1st, you're supposed to be done with your comp time. Supposed to be gone, use it or lose it.
Yeah.
So you should be whatever it is end of July.
Okay, and that's understandable. It's just there would have been a lot of calls I never would have went to, So I guess that's on me for going above and beyond. So
I think you've been well taken care of here, Brian. Correct?
Yeah, I guess we hadn't been aware of any of the starting any earlier down there, so I don't think probably anybody has had any time to think about any of this, Brian. So it might not be a place to discuss it here tonight. So
okay, I just didn't know if it needed to be discussed at a council meeting.
Sure, it does.
Levi and Jim and I were going to try to get together with you as the liaison to the emergency end of things and discuss this situation, but we haven't been able to do that. Well, we were going to do it the week of the derecho, but that's been over a month ago, and of course that was a busy week, so we haven't gotten that done here. So
yeah.
So if you want to sit down and discuss it, I was going to try to make something work Saturday, but it didn't work out for my schedule this past Saturday. I had talked to Jim and Levi last week about it and told them I'd get back with them on it, which I didn't because it didn't work out with my schedule. So maybe some night this week we can sit down and discuss the situation. Then if that works for you and Jim and Levi, report back to the council.
Yep, that sounds fine.
Levi and Jim, does an evening work for you guys? I know tomorrow night won't work for me and Wednesday night won't work, but Thursday probably would.
Thursday works for me.
Yeah, I'll be out of town Thursday. Can we make it Friday maybe?
Friday works for me as well.
Yeah, we could tentatively plan on Friday. I'll get a hold of you guys tomorrow then, and we'll set up a time.
Okay.
All right. Anything else for Brian tonight? Anything else, Brian, from you?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Discussion with P&Z, Steve. Are you there, Steve?
Can you hear me now?
Got you now.
Okay. We had a 3 or 4 building permits. One was to tear down a garage that got destroyed by the derecho. One was a fence, one was trees in the backyard, and the 4th one was a pad for a building, and that was it.
Sounds like they're all pretty straightforward then. No
Yeah.
real issues.
No issues.
All right. Any questions on the council for Steve for planning and zoning? All right. Hearing none, we'll move to public works discussion.
Got our new truck. pretty nice, a little rough riding, but nice truck. Got the price from Future Line for the plow. We originally had a quote from I think January it was, and it was $6,888.11. But that was just for the plow, not for the mounting and whatnot. But we also added on we figured if we were going to take it up there, we'd have them put a light bar on it for us, which the truck already came with all the switches and everything for a plow truck. So the total for that is $8,011.69 from Future Line, which is a 9.2 steel V plow, the controls and everything with the light.
I believe we discussed that at that prior meeting, and it was budgeted for this year to go ahead and move forward with that, if I'm not mistaken. Deb, do we need a motion on that, or is?
We might as well go ahead and have a motion.
Yeah,
Motion
it's a little higher than it originally was, just because we added the light and they didn't have the mounting on it. So
Okay. Plow's not much good without the mount, so.
right, and a city truck's not much good without a plow. So
Is there a motion by the council to have Steve and Will go ahead and move forward at Future Line and getting everything set up for winter?
Rod, make a motion.
Jim, second.
Okay, it was motioned by Rod, seconded by Jim. Roll call, Jim,
Aye.
Bart,
Aye.
Rod,
Aye.
Levi,
Aye.
and Ron.
Aye.
Right, the motions carries. While we're on the pickup talk, do we want to, does the council want to move forward at selling Steve's old pickup, the 3/4 ton? I think we've done the sealed bid process in the past.
I say get something out of it, so.
This is Ron. Do we need to set a minimum price we'll take, or just whatever we get bid?
Yeah, I think we usually say that we can reject all bid, but we could set a minimum also, I think.
What year is that truck?
I believe it's a 2008, Ron.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah. And it's got 52,000, 53,000 right in there. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but I mean, it has no rust on it. All I'm going to tell you is the front end is shot. I mean, you drive down the road and it jumps 3 feet to the right if you hit a bump. But other than that, it's a good truck. The engine runs good, sounds good. So, I mean, I think if you found the right person, it's probably worth some money.
Well, do we want to set the sealed bids due at our next month's meeting? If they can get put out this week, Deb, I believe we've done that in the past on the pickup. Well, actually, it would next month be too soon, Steve. Will our new one be in service by then?
It can be. I was going to go over some other stuff like the decals on the door. Do you guys want to do that in town with that guy that took over, what was it, Rev Raps or whatever? Or,
Yeah, I think we could probably give him a shot at it to keep it local, and he can
okay.
maybe match what we have on the garbage truck or come close to it, or Will's truck. I think those are all matching, or however you guys want. So
Okay. I didn't know if you got them done there last time, so he might have a diagram of what you did the last time, or I guess I don't know where you got it from last time, so.
yeah, some of those might have been ordered online at one time. I know, I believe Mallet and Emily put those on for us. They were kind of in a transition maybe of doing their decals at that time, but he could probably make anything close. You could stop in and talk to him. So
Yeah, I'll swing in tomorrow and talk to him. I mean, I guess we don't have to have decals on the door to drive it around. I pretty much parked in the shed because I didn't want to get the seats all full of crap, which is my next thing, is getting seat covers, but just trying to keep it nice, drive the old stuff while we can. And
yeah, I think seat covers are probably fairly cheap. A couple $100 maybe would go a long ways on those, I would think. So
yeah, I actually went online today, and I actually have some on my truck that are Caltrans, and you can get the front, which that's all we need is the front seats, and they're like $193.95. So they are camouflage, though, I'll tell you that. But they're the cheapest ones. So
yeah, whatever works to protect them. That way we can keep it as nice as we can.
all right.
The camel ones, so only if they say Bush Light on them somewhere can you get them.
They don't. It's like an urban camo, so it's like a digital camel. It's camel. So it's
Weak.
yeah. They don't even really look like camouflage, but they were on sale, and they were the cheapest ones through True Truck. So
They hold up good in your personal truck, so I would assume you'd put them in a work truck, huh?
yeah, I honestly like them. I mean, they're pretty good seat covers. They're fit to the truck, so they fit tight. And
All right, that sounds good. So would it be safe to say if you guys could put together a sealed bid then for this week and have them due for next month? That isn't saying we have to get rid of the truck at that time, but if somebody wants to look at it, to get a hold of you during business hours, Steve.
yeah, I'm good with that.
Does that sound good with the council?
Yep, I'm good.
I think that'd be a good idea. Coming in the fall, somebody might want a truck.
Sure. Okay, we'll go with that plan then.
So we took the tonner over to H&H today because we were picking up trees, and it sounded like the front end was about ready to fall out of it. And they actually got it fixed already, but I don't know what it was. It almost looked to me like it was the ball joints on it. So that's a unexpected bill that we're going to be getting here. So we'll probably run over and pick it up tomorrow. The other thing I have is skid loader tires. With all the derecho stuff, the skid loader tires are pretty much gone. So I got a hold of Dan's in Mechanicsville and Harry's both, and we're probably looking at, like, Dan actually said it'd be around $1,000. Harry said 806. for all 4 tires, and that'd be them coming and putting them on, which we could probably cheapen that up some by jacking it up and taking them off and taking them to them, but probably
Well,
something we're gonna have to look at before winter.
Yeah, regardless of the situation, I'd talk to Steve about it's going to need to replace before winter because the storm event running it for over 2 weeks straight on the city streets, the tires are next to bald. Unfortunately on a 1.5 or 2-year-old skid loader, but I'm hoping maybe FEMA will come through and we could turn something like that into them for, but either way we look at it, they're going to need replaced for winter.
Jim, I'd just go ahead and have them do it. The fellas got enough work anyway. I'd just take the lowest bid myself.
Yeah, Harry's was a little bit lower. It's like 806, and Dan just said, I don't know if y'all know Dan or not, but he said probably around $1,000. So, I mean,
yeah, just make sure you're getting a compatible tire that's, on there, good ply or whatever they put on there, I guess. So,
yeah, Harry's is actually the same tire that was on it when we bought it, or when it got bought.
Okay.
Titan tires. So
I would just go that route, Steve. We get a little closer to winter here, maybe in the next, I don't know. Hopefully we don't get any snow in October, but maybe sometime November have it done so it's ready for winter.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and that price might change a little bit too, who knows. And the last thing I have is, I know Deb's been getting a lot of tree complaints. What are we doing with all these city trees that need to come down? I mean, do you want me to try to contact somebody, or you guys got a suggestion, or?
Well, the bottom line is there could be up to 100 trees that people think may need to come down, but we're going to probably have to address the situation of ones that are going to be a safety issue. I know I talked to Winecoop and Toby, and he's got that lift running around town taking private stuff down. I think they'd be willing to help the city out and do some work for the city as far as what some would maybe call a widow maker or something that's hanging up in a city tree, like it sounds like maybe Barry McHenry has.
Right. Well, his whole tree needs to come down. I mean, it's basically half a tree sitting there. And it's pretty big. I don't know how good the city's insurance is, but I'll take it down.
Yeah, I mean, I guess per se, I don't really have a problem with doing so if we think we can do it safely without hitting anything or taking power line. I know you've done enough tree work over the years, Steve, that you know what you're doing. But on stuff that it'd be easier with, say, a lift or something like that to be able to get us by for right now. I mean, as far as city-owned tree damage, there's a lot of it.
Right.
There's probably a lot of trees that are not going to make it through on this that are going to have to come down at some point, but we obviously don't have a budget right now, nor any year, to take all of them down at once. So it's going to have to be some kind of a process here. So.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I
didn't know what's FEMA doing as far as trees. Are they supplementing the city, or aren't they?
Well, for some reason, I don't know, Deb, unless you've heard more today, we haven't gotten much correspondence from FEMA on anything yet.
I haven't today.
Deb, what was that?
I have not heard anything from them back. No.
We put in the application and we're going through the process of it. Obviously, we're going to have probably some bills and your guys' overtime and so on and so forth that they're saying is going to be able to be reimbursed to these public entities, but it's not going to come without making sure we have very good documentation, and it's probably something that they're going to tell us that we need to go around and figure out if they do end up paying for taking some of these trees down. I don't even know if that'll be part of what they cover or not, but for now, I think in your travels around town, if you see something or if we get a complaint, go look at it. And if it needs to be trimmed up or something taken down that's going to cause an issue, you know, coming into winter with snow and ice or more wind, we're probably obligated to get rid of that stuff. But just a tree that is still alive and still standing and might have just had a couple limbs or knocked out of it during the storm, that may have to wait a little while yet.
All right. Yeah, I know. What have we had, Deb? Like 4 or 5 people call in complaining. So
When I looked at one day that somebody had asked me about, and to be honest with you, with the exception of the few limbs that fell out of it and maybe a couple that are small broke off and hung up in a Y way up in the air, it's probably not any worse than it was before. So
I agree. Yeah.
But some of those that are broke off and hung up, you know, they'll be like that for years if you leave them that way.
Right. Yeah. Yep. All right. I just didn't know what kind of route you wanted to take. So
Yeah, I would, you know, if you feel comfortable, unless the council has any other suggestions, you know, doing some work when you get caught up here and there or taking some of them down. Otherwise, it's my opinion we can utilize, you know, Toby and Wine Coop too. And I know we did have a list of trees that we needed to, we're on the list to come down beforehand, and we do still have a budget for this year. Maybe pick the worst, whatever, 5 or 7, whatever we have budgeted this year, those can still come down yet. So,
right. Yeah, I think we're down to 3 right now on that list. So
okay.
we could probably add a couple more on there.
Okay. Well, let's just do that and move forward in that manner. So,
all right. Sounds good.
all right. Any other questions for the council? From the council? All right. Discussion with city clerk, Deb.
The financial reports are in a folder on the desk, which I was hoping you would look over and sign and date tomorrow when you come in to sign checks, Jarek. Everything's going well here.
All right. No additional bills. We can move to approve.
I did send out a new list of bills. I don't know if you all got it. I sent it out right before the meeting. It's for Advantage FS for diesel for the generators. That's $590.11. Dan's Tires and More truck and skid loader tire repairs for $48.65. Fluent IMS, the ambulance's annual fees for $307.14. Triple J Enterprises to install the storm sewer intake line, $3,330.29. And US Cellular, the cell phones for the city for $199.03.
All right. Any questions on the bills? Otherwise, is there a motion to approve?
Jim, so moved.
I'll second.
A motion by Jim, seconded by Levi. Roll call. Jim.
Aye.
Bart.
Aye.
Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
All righty, that's approved. We'll move to correspondence and communications. Deb, was there anything under that? Anything needs discussed?
I don't think I had anything that I put on the list.
Okay. New business approval of Sunstop liquor license renewal.
I'll make
Everything
a
all
mo- oh.
dead?
Yes, it's all ready to go. It's already been submitted to the local authority. So that means it's all paid for and everything.
Okay. I think there was a motion by Ron. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Bart. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Bart.
Aye.
Rod.
Yep.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
Okay. Let's see. Discuss approval of letter to Cedar County for transfer of a 16-foot by 207-foot parcel from Kenneth Mustard to Greg Thompson and Nathan Muse. I believe that was discussed last month. Nathan, I see you're on here tonight. Did you have something you wanted to discuss with us?
We just want to make sure that everything's like going to be approved. Because I heard that there was some sort of misunderstanding about Ken selling it and parceling it off or something like that. And I drew something up, but kind of what I want to do on my part is I kind of want to put a windbreak. Like, this is the building. Here's my home here. I like to draw. And anyhow, there's the field, here's the building, and then I'm gonna, so we don't see it from the highway. By putting a windbreak in there, you wouldn't really see that. I want to put at least a 50 by 40 pole building back there, so I can put my camper and stuff in it, so I don't lose any more from hail damage. I lost two campers from hail damage, and I'm getting kind of tired of it. So that's my primary thing, and then I can, store other things in there as well. But I just wanted to make sure. I just heard something that it wasn't approved or something about that.
Jerry, this is Greg.
Yes, Greg.
I talked with Kyle Maurer on Monday and said that due to the fact that you had all the windstorm discussion, that basically was tabled, but he mentioned there was a couple questions that were on the table before the actual to go to public hearing. There was a couple questions in regards to usage, and I believe one he mentioned is they were wondering if, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody brought up the fact is if what Kenny's intention was to do with the remaining, and that's the 150 by 207 plus 16, so it'll be 23. And I talked with Kenny on Saturday and this afternoon, and he was unable to be on tonight, but basically he's still going to market it as a single family housing lot as he has in the past. So there will be no, of course, money talks, but that's his original intent, because I think there was some discussion about maybe some storage buildings being parceled off or a possibility of that. So his intent as of 3:00 this afternoon is still to keep it as single family. I don't think there was anything in regards to the 16-foot I'm acquiring. It's more for green space to try and balance our house out a little bit after we put our addition in, and you guys went ahead and approved us to be able to put our addition in, and we were a little tight there. And so in the process of Nate approaching Kenny and then myself, we would just hope that the public hearing could be held or whatever is necessary so we can move this forward, please. And if anybody's got any questions in regards to Kenny or myself, you can ask me now or get a hold of me.
I don't know. thinking back a month, Greg, to be honest, I can't even remember what the questions were, but you probably just brought them up. I think the one I had in mind is obviously we all know there's still that city easement that goes down through there pertaining to the sewer.
Right.
That would still have to be maintained and left alone, I guess. So really there would be nothing that you could, I guess more so than what you're saying with green space, there's probably nothing you could really do with that on that amount of land, correct?
Well, you can, there was interest in the lot this spring, and I happened to be out there and what they were proposing on doing. And long story short, you could place a house behind that 20-foot easement, which would be 10 foot on either side of that, going down to what I call the old Smith property, Christian property. But again, I had to, in my agreement, I had to allow them to connect through my 16-foot to get to the sewer, which is, of course, runs along the south side of my house. But you could, if you pushed it clear back, there would be still enough backyard setback to place a house on that. But you're going to be a long ways off the highway.
Well, correct, but I was more talking in regards to what you would be doing on the south side of your property with it, being there's that easement on the south side of your house currently. That easement's gonna split that in your 16 by 207 foot, correct?
Right. Yep. Exactly. It's just usable space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Derek,
More access.
Did the planning and zoning have any questions on this, Steve? Did you have anything brought up on that?
I not aware of what you're even talking about right now. I mean,
Okay.
hey, Derek, it's Rod.
Yeah, Rod.
That lot has the sewer line running across it up to the corner there by Pyatt.
Well, it comes from Kenny's old house right through that empty lot and ties into the sewer main that we're discussing on the south edge of Greg's property where the easement is.
That's correct.
I believe that's why it's shying people away from building a residential house there, because somebody's going to have to figure out who's going to reroute that sewer line. So, and that's going to be on the private side of things for certainly not the city to figure out, because it's a sewer service, not a main.
Yep.
Yep. And I don't know if Greg, if you checked into this, but that lot can be subdivided off one time only. You might want to check into that.
Kyle was supposed to have looked into that, I guess. So
You better
I
find
don't know.
out.
Excuse
I'm
me?
here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
No.
The county, I talked to the county and they didn't care if the city didn't. So they were, as long as they got a letter from the city approving, they didn't care.
Even after it was subdivided off once?
No, I ran both of these, what you would call subdivisions by them, and they said, we don't care at all.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Kyle. So again, basically, I think, it's just comes to a point where other than carving off 16 foot to the north to south of us for our property down back to 207 deep as the existing lot is, and for Nate to acquire that property, which naturally, in a sense, connects to his property and is really probably an ideal to be able to put a place and keep his stuff inside instead of having them being on the street and whatnot. And it keeps the street curb appeal, clean and with the windbreak. I would hope that the council would take action on that so we can, move forward with everybody's plans. And my plans are minimal. So other than the mullet.
Well, if you're looking for mowing, you can come over and do mine, Greg.
Okay, sure.
so the only thing that I've seen go through the zoning is Nate had something on there about the front of his house, but nothing about a building or anything. So I'm not sure. Maybe he hasn't even applied for it yet. So
Hey, Steve, this is Nathan. Yeah, I came in today and paid for a permit. I'm just putting a gable end in the front of my house to give it a little bit more curb appeal. Because our house is just kind of, just kind of plain Jane, and just kind of want to get a little bit more curb appeal by my front door. That's all.
gotcha. They call that streetscape, Nate.
I like it.
So moving forward, are we in a position tonight what's the council's, is there any discussion topics on the approval of the letter to Cedar County for the transfer? I guess Kenny seems to be okay at selling that, and the two landowners that are on here tonight definitely want to see this go through, it sounds like. So is there council opinion, or is there a motion to approve the letter to Cedar County for the transfer of this?
This is Jim. As long as there's no issues with our city attorney, I would make the motion.
This is Ron. I'll second it.
Okay, well, hearing none from Kyle from what he got for a correspondence from Cedar County, Jim moved and seconded by Ron. So roll call to approve. Jim?
Aye.
Bart?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
Levi?
Aye.
And Ron?
Aye.
And I guess I should state, I don't know if speaking out of term or not, but there won't be any cost to the city occurred on this transaction, I guess, as far as
Right.
Kyle, would there have to be a survey done to find the new lot lines or not on this?
That would be
The
it.
audit office didn't think that there would need to be surveys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was, in the agreement, Jarek, would be the buyer's expense. It was called out anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a city expense regardless. It'd be on the buyer.
Right.
Okay, well, it's approved, so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving forward, discuss continuing response to severe weather damage, emergency and mitigation efforts. Deb, is that something you added on here to just a discussion topic?
Well, I just kind of put that on as a blanket in case there was something that you guys actually needed to move on concerning that issue.
Well, the tree removal was discussed. I think that's probably the biggest thing that the city's gonna have in the future here. And again, we discussed that, and then I guess waiting to hear from FEMA on what steps we have to take moving forward for compensation for what was done specifically in that week of cleanup. So unless the council has any thoughts or questions that or Levi, I know you sat in on the last FEMA meeting.
Yeah, the thing in there made it sound like we might be able to get compensation for trees, but I think we'd have to go off, create a list and then put it out for bids. But I think that would fall in line with what FEMA would reimburse us for. I don't know. I mean, Deb listened in on it, but they didn't specifically talk about trees, but I think that would be one of the things we could put out for bid. And you did, and the city did apply, fill out that application for reimbursement through FEMA.
Yes, I believe. Deb, when has that been almost 2 weeks ago now?
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
So we'll wait to hear from them and keep everybody apprised of what's going on. Any other questions on that? All right, moving forward, a more ordinance amendment pertaining to animal control from Iowa codification for legislative update. Deb, I believe you sent that out this afternoon, the updated version, correct?
Yes.
So moving forward, we just need approval of that amendment.
Hey, real quick, Kyle, could you mute your phone? We're getting a lot of feedback from your phone.
Kyle might have something to say on that. I don't know.
Yeah, he had been off mute for a bit. I didn't know if he had forgotten he was off.
All right, well, we'll need a motion for the ordinance amendment for the legislative update.
We need to approve the first reading.
Okay.
Jim, so moved.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Jim, seconded by Bart. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Bart.
Aye.
Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
Okay, the first reading passes. Is that something we can waive the future readings, Deb?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to waive future readings
Second.
and
Motion.
adopt, I think.
Yes, correct. Motion by Levi to waive the future readings and adopt the legislative update for the animal control. Seconded by Jim. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Bart.
Aye.
Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
Okay, and then Don Johnson to do mowing part-time. Steve Bixler had called me a couple weeks ago. Angie went back to school, so won't be available for the part-time, and for the rest of the year. He had talked to Don Johnson, and I gave him the go-ahead to have him help him out part-time as long as he Deb got his information for the insurance bit, so probably need a motion by the council, I guess, to approve. I think Don's already helped a few times, so.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it, Ron.
Okay, motioned by
Levi.
seconded by Ron. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Bart. Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
Ron.
Aye.
I believe that was that the $10 an hour starting at part-time, Deb, correct?
That's what we have on our resolution for pay.
Okay. All right, discuss trick or treat hours, same as last year, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Is there any discussion on trick or treat? I don't know I guess I haven't heard of what other towns are doing. I imagine they're still going through with trick or treating.
Yeah, they are. I'll make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Levi, seconded by Bart for trick or treat hours on the 31st, 5:30 to 7:30. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Bart. Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
All right, just a reminder, October meeting, we'll go back to the winter hours. It'll start at 6 p.m. Is there council persons' concerns tonight? Jim?
No.
Bart?
Nothing.
Rod,
Not right now.
Levi.
Yeah, maybe one quick thing. Any idea why they put the wood poles downtown and not the metal ones? Is that something we need to do, or is it just something we got to deal with now?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was gonna bring that up. I can't believe I haven't had a phone call on that, in all honesty, but I asked Deb if she had gotten any correspondence from Alliant. I ended up calling the foreman in charge up there at Lisbon. He said those are temporary. They had to order the steel ones in. He doesn't know when they'll be in, but it sounds like they're gonna come back and put the steel ones up in replacement of what was there. They felt though, because of the safety issue and not having, I believe there was at least 3, it was important to get those up. They went to an awful lot of work of putting those up though, so.
Okay, yeah, just was curious if it's something we had to do or if they were doing it. So it's good to actually hear that it's something they're taking care of.
Well, I figured either the Main Street or somebody would be asking about it, so I called him, I believe, last Friday, Thursday, or yeah, maybe it was already a week prior to that. And it was last Monday, a week ago last Monday, because I'd found out about it. I didn't notice it until they were already put up, I guess. They were in town, I believe, a week ago last Friday to do 2 of the 3, and I think they did the last one in front of Victory Lane last Friday. And he stated that they were temporary, that they ordered in the metal post to be put up permanently. So.
Okay, that's all I had.
All right, Ron.
No, I'm glad they put them up though. I mean, it was pretty dark going down Main Street there without them lights up.
Well, if you'd go home earlier at night, Ron.
Yeah. Stay out too late.
So, all right. Any other questions? All right, a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jim, seconded by Levi. Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Mart. Rod.
Aye.
Levi.
Aye.
And Ron.
Aye.
All right, meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.